Hi guys, welcome to the next video. Thanks for coming back. I want to just kind of pick up where we left off in the other one, where we were talking about wanting to go into a little bit more deeper discussion in regards to the dream that I had, where I was at the store and my husband was trying to put a necklace on me, and then instead of the necklace going on, there was the indentation on my shoulder. That particular dream I want to discuss in a little bit more detail, and I want to also talk a little bit more about what the new job is going to be. And actually, I really feel like it's tying in to that dream. So at some point today, I was doing a search in my email. And in my email search, I don't even remember what I was looking for. I think it was to see if I had electronically shared the cleansing message, that particular message where the Lord had said to me, daughter, try and get back to the basics as best as you can. And I was looking for that, and I came across an email dated in the tail end of April of 2016, and it was talking about a lot of different things, but it was all merging a bunch of things together, and they were all connecting. And it was dealing with the ephod. It was dealing with the cleansing. It was dealing with the mikvah information. It was dealing with the new job and the gems. I mean, this email we were talking about, I had sent this email to some of my friends, and the emails that I was looking at were, the responses and the replies, and and some of their thoughts on things as well. And so I knew I had to get into my 2016 journal, which is where I found two of the dreams that I had read to you in the last video about the new job. And so I wanted to go ahead and excuse me, read over a couple of things that I had found in here, because I think you're going to be pretty interested in hearing what I have found. So now, one thing that I did find that the Lord has asked me to show, well, he didn't ask it, but he's impressed it upon me, to make sure that I'm showing this to you, is it doesn't have anything to do with the dream, but I want to go ahead and do it so that I don't forget it. On Saturday, April the 9th of 2016, I was sitting at work and I had a flash vision. And I sketched out, and I'm not a very good drawer, guys, y'all already know that. I sketched out what I saw. And this is what I saw, right on that blue paper. This is just basically the lower part of the United States. This is the United States here, and we have Texas here, and we have Florida Panhandle here, and these are just the islands that are like in the Caribbean. Okay, now I have this marked off because the Lord was making me focus in this area. Now, I put this here because I'm not sure if he was saying just look in the water around this area, or was it the islands around this area, or was the panhandle of Florida included in it? I wasn't sure. But I know that when he gave me the vision, I knew when he gave me that vision, I saw the map of the United States. And it was like my attention was drawn down into a particular area. And so that is the area that he wanted me to stay focused on. That he basically focused on this area, and it was this area right here. Okay? Now, when he gave me the flash vision, he didn't He didn't show me anything falling from the sky. He didn't show me any missiles, any bombs, any something falling in the water in this area. He didn't show me anything. But I knew it was very, very important that we focus in on this area. And it was past the point of being important. It was a very heavy stress. Like, look right here, watch this area, And so and so I thought, well, is that where a meteor is going to fall? Is there something in the waters there? Is there, is it going to be bombed? And then when I looked at it today, I remembered the dream about the planes that I just talked to you all about. Remember when I said I looked up in the sky and I saw the military planes, but they were older military planes. And then I saw the passenger planes with the flags and the banners. And I said that I was facing the east, and these came from my right to my left, so they were coming from the south. Guys, that's the south. So is he saying watch this area maybe for military something or other? Is there going to be an attack here? I don't know. But I know that he has said focus on this area, and it was such a quick vision. I mean, it was like I saw the United States, and then he honed me down into a particular area, and even though he didn't show me what it was, it was a very heavy. The only word I can tell you was a stress. It was like I knew I better be watching that area, and so that when I was going through the book today, and I saw this, something in my spirit quickened, and I said, oh, I need to go ahead and make sure that I mention that. So I just got that out of the way. Okay. So when I was going through my emails back and forth with every all my friends and stuff in regards to some of the things that I had been receiving, hearing, dreams, and what have you, I noticed that I was talking about the personal message that the Lord gave me regarding the cleansing. And this is the one that I told you all about, where it was where he said, daughter, get back to the basics as much as you can. And so I made a note here about kind of what I was thinking about it and what it meant. And so on Friday, Passover, I'm making a note to myself. I'm just writing this out. On Friday, Passover, I received a personal message from the Lord. So I need to stop right there because, well, let me say, this message dealt with cleansing. So let me just stop right there because I got the cleansing message last Passover. I had no idea. I knew I had gotten it, but I didn't know when I had gotten it. I mean, I didn't remember when I had received it on a specific day or whatever. And so when I found this email and I am reading the note that I made to myself that it was Passover, that the Lord gave me that message, I said, wow, because when I went to him just recently and I said, Lord, what else can I do? And he said, no meat. That it wasn't Passover day, but it was at the tail end of March. I mean, just before Nisan 1, right? Just before April. And so it was just before Passover. And I said, wow, I mean, that's so, guys, I'm telling you, he works in, as you go out throughout the year, your messages for the next year, they all line up for the most part and he's still talking to you about certain things on the same days or the same time frames. It's fascinating. Guys, please go back and check your journals. You will be shocked and amazed. You really will. But let me go, I digress. Let me continue. So on Friday, Passover, I received a personal message from the Lord. This message dealt with cleansing. And not normal cleansing through repentance and prayer, but the cleansing of my body. Several weeks ago, I had dug into the mikveh. And the mikveh is the immersion in water, and the ritual immersions in water for the Jewish people for cleansing. A mikveh could also be considered a baptism, a water baptism, as long as it met the water guidelines, the way the water had to come in, and how it had to be natural and all different kinds of things. So anyway, but the mikveh is when you are immersed in water for cleansing, and so I had been digging into that study, and I really wanted to know about it but I found that there really wasn't a whole lot of in-depth information in regards to the mikvah. But what I did find was what needed to be done prior to going into the mikvah, like some type of a checklist. And you had to scrub your body, like every area all over, like every single part, like behind your ear, everything had to be scrubbed and cleaned. You couldn't have any perfumes on, no deodorants, nothing in your hair, like a spray, a gel, leave-in conditioner, anything like that. Couldn't have anything like that in there. No nail polish, none of that gel polish, none of those fake nails, acrylic tip, any of that. Couldn't have any of that. No contact lenses, no jewelry, nothing. Everything had to be clean, including your nails had to be trimmed down, your toenails trimmed down. I mean, because water had to get into every area of your body. I mean, you couldn't go in to the water and just dip down like this, because then you had to make sure water got in every area. I mean, you had to be totally immersed, totally covered, and water touching every area, including in between your nail and your foot. I mean, everything. Water had to be everywhere. And so the water, this was so the water immersion would get in every area of your being, because you had to be totally submerged, totally immersed, and totally cleansed. And so what they did is they had actually, sometimes they would have people go in and watch to make sure that the immersion was completed the way that it needed to be completed, that everything was completely covered, and they called it, they basically said, okay, it was kosher. It met the requirements. And you can go and do a mikveh now. I mean, I could go and make an appointment to go and do a mikveh here. Even though I've never been told or taught, it wasn't part of any of my growing up. It wasn't part of my heritage in any way. About going and doing a mikveh, but I could go and do that here. I mean, they have them, and for people to say that it's kosher, sometimes people will either be in the room or they'll be watching on a camera and show lights, red or green or whatever, and basically tell you, go, immerse yourself in water, and when you see the light turn green, you can come up or something. I don't know how they tell people to come on out of there, but yeah, so that's what they do. I mean, so many days after childbirth, the mother, or however long it is, the mother will go in and cleanse herself, and then so many days before a wedding, both wedding parties will go in and cleanse themselves. And I think I read something about that, and I think I noted it down. Yes, the mikveh usually was completed 3 to 4 days, or within that 3 to 4 day period. It could be one day before or whatever, but it was within a 3 to 4 day period before the wedding. I thought that was interesting. And so I was wondering, I said, well, let me see if I can find that message. And I did find the message. It says, this is the Lord, April 22nd, 2016. And this is the message he said. He said, I'm making my way to you now. You are one that I will be touching to change in the near future. Make yourself ready, my love, by cleansing your body in ways you have learned for the mikvah. Bring yourself back to the natural state as much as possible. I will do the rest. And then he goes on and he's talking about his return. But I mean, it's like, so to bring yourself back as much as you possibly can as to what they would do to prepare for the mikvah. And that was the cleansing that he was talking to me about. And so it was at that time that I stopped wearing nail polish. I don't wear a whole lot of jewelry anymore. I don't have a lot of makeup, eye makeup, and that kind of thing on anymore. And I tried to lay down as much as I possibly could. There were times that at first, I completely tried to take my contacts out and have my prescription reading glasses on, but that just, for me, that's just very, very difficult. I just feel like I'm looking like I only have tunnel vision. I don't feel like I can look out over here without my contacts in. And so I had to go back to having my contacts in, but I, some of the other things I haven't picked back up. I've just left it off. I just stopped doing it. And he asked me to stop, and I did. I didn't know where it was coming from, and I didn't know why. But I did what he asked me to do. And so I know that I had gone to bed somewhere around let's see, this is that would have had to have been the 22nd, so that was Friday. So that weekend, on the 2016, I had gone to bed, and I woke up, okay, here it is, Monday the 25th of April, 2016. I rolled over in the night, and I heard this song in my spirit. I just listened to this song last week sometime, and I shared it. It was Alison Krauss. And the song was Down to the River to Pray. Have you all heard that song? It's talking about the baptism, going down to the river to be baptized. And I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, here it is. It's talking about the mikvah and all of that. And I roll over in the middle of the night, and I'm hearing this song. So I'm just like, this is, you just can't make this stuff up, guys. You can't. I mean, it's just like, how is this possible? It's crazy how it's possible. And so as I was continuing to go through my journal, especially in April of 2016, I came across something. I came across, when I'm just flipping through, I see this. This is in my journal. This says Melchizedek. So it's telling me that I was going in and looking at what I felt like the Lord was leading me to at that time, and He was leading me to this at that time. And I thought, well, that's real interesting, because that's what I've been kind of digging into in this other area. That's kind of what I've been digging into. And so as I was going through and taking a look at another message, I tripped across this one on April the 27th, 2016. Now, guys, I'm here to tell you, when I read this message, when I read it tonight, because this is the first time that I've seen it since last year, when I looked at it, I said, I remember receiving this message. But when I looked at it, I thought, man, I didn't remember this message. Why did I not remember this message? What is interesting to me is that when you hear words of truth and you hear the Lord teaching you something, you know you've heard it. If a brother in Christ or a sister in Christ comes to me and they say, they're talking about something, then I can say, yes, I understand what you're saying. The Lord said this to me, and I can tell them what the Lord said. If they come to me about something that I haven't heard, then I can say, no, I don't know. It could be, but the Lord has not spoken to me about it. So if someone had said to me, what's in this message? I would have said, I'm not sure about that. I would have had to say, I'm not sure about that. But when I read the message over tonight, I was like, oh, that's right. That's what he told me. And I'm like, did the enemy inadvertently somehow have me forget this message somehow? I don't know. I think it's important. It's an important message. It's talking about my new job. It's talking about my future. The Lord is confirming something for me here, but I'm here to tell you guys, I completely forgot about this message, and that is not like me in regards to the messages from the Lord. So let me read this to you, and you guys will understand what I'm trying to say. April 27, 2016. This was his message for that day. Daughter Melchizedek, the high priest, the one who offers freedom for all, his altar, his way, I am he, the Melchizedek. My love, you are on your way to understanding what will be called upon in your life. Yes, you shall be announced as a priest, a child of mine, following in my footsteps, showing the world who I am through you and many others, my love. You know this to be true, for I have told you in times past. My mantle upon you, my anointing, my power given unto you, full authority to walk in my way. Yes, my love, this shall be. You shall be called for this very purpose. My waters will flow over you and transfer rights to you, for the waters bring life. A birth of something new. See my hand upon this, my love. See my hand upon this, my love, for it is upon you and your walk with me in the coming days. Fear not, my child, for you will be given instruction on what to do and when to do it. My ways upon the earth and none other, my love. My ways upon the earth and none other. And that was the end of the message. So here it is. This whole time, I've been told what I'm going to be doing. And here it is a year later. A year later. Well, not quite a year, because this says April 27th and today is the 20th. But a year later, all this past week, I've been digging into this dream that he gave about the indentation on the shoulder and the eighth and all of that. This is all tying into this. It's all tying into it. He's continuing to put it out in front of me. The new job with the gems, the ephod, about the priestly attire, the necklaces. Is that, could that be where the chains hold the gemstones in the breastplate. Is that what it is? I don't know. But guys, I mean, he's been trying to tell me and tell me and tell me and tell me and tell. How patient is our God, I'm telling you. And for me to not remember this message, I cannot. I'm flabbergasted right now, really, because when I looked at this, I said, oh, well, what's this? And I looked at it and I said, no, I had forgotten completely about it. I'm speechless when it comes to that. I have no idea what happened there. All I can say is that either something happened and took my brain away for a while, or what. I don't even know. But there it is. It's right there in black and white. I could not believe it. So anyway, so I want to talk to you all a little bit more about the dream that I had and kind of how that is all going to tie in together. And so I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and cut this one off and come up with a third one, and we'll pick it up with going back through this particular dream, and then explaining a little bit about some things that I did find that I think you guys are going to find real interesting. So guys, I want to say thank you for coming back. I'm going to do one more tonight. Hopefully that'll be the last one. And I just wanted to say God bless you. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll come back and talk to you all real soon. Bye.